Welcome back, everyone. In a recent video, we were reminded about how the God of Islam provokes Muslim men to violence by guaranteeing them entry into paradise, along with an eternal supply of specially prepared virgins. In the comments, many viewers understandably raised the common question of what Muslim women get in paradise. That is, of course, if they make it. It's important to remember that Muhammad was pessimistic about women going to Jannah because, in his view, women were inferior to men. But for the relatively few Muslim women who do make it to Allah's paradise, it seems a bit unfair. The Islamic sources have plenty to say about the pleasures awaiting men, but much less to say about what's in it for the women. So the question seems valid, unless you consult a popular level apologist or whatever people like this guy are calling themselves these days.
Isn't Allah capable of satisfying you with one husband of yours? She said, yes. But why? My husband is having more than one. I said, Subhanallah. Are you questioning Allah's justice? Are you doubting Allah's promise? This is shaitan messing up with your head. You have a promise from Allah that He will satisfy you. Accept it. And don't go further. Because if you go further, this is how shaitan would deviate you from the straight path and maybe put you in the danger zone of falling into apostasy, rejecting Islam altogether.
You see, women, you don't have much of a chance of getting into Jannah anyway, according to your prophet. And if you press this question too far, then Satan could cause you to doubt, and you might leave Islam altogether. Wouldn't that be a tragedy? Still, people who are not Muslim women, and therefore do have the freedom to think and ask questions, may observe that, Allah's paradise seems conspicuously designed for men, almost as if the whole idea was contrived by men, whose view of eternity couldn't see past their own private parts. Anyway, a common response to the question of what Muslim women get in Allah's eternal brothel of virgins is found in the Quran. In verses like these, it apparently says that all believers can have whatever they desire in paradise. Male Muslim apologists will cite these sorts of verses to Muslim women who dare to ask the question, and then explain that Allah knows them best and will give them whatever they want. However, I doubt that's actually true. In fact, here are 3 things that I believe Muslim women might want in paradise but won't get. First, a one-woman man. You know, the odd thing is that when Muslim apologists have tried to explain away the multiple wives issue because it's so unpopular in modern society, they'll frequently appeal to what they say was the normal practice at the time, or political alliances or similar. Shabir Ali has given such reasons and then said that, given the full context, one wife is actually ideal.
So some will say that based on that, the ideal is to really marry only one, because marrying multiple is contingent upon being fair and just to all of them, and you will not be able to be fair and just when you put the 2 verses together. So marry only one, that is the ideal, and that is the best situation.
I can't see how such explanations for the polygamy problem stand up to scrutiny. Muslim men get multiple wives in Jannah, not just in this life, so I can only conclude that it's eternally better for Muslim men to have multiple wives. It has nothing to do with the social norms in the 7th century Arabian desert or anything else. It's eternally better for Muslim men to have many women at their disposal. That's how Allah designed it. So Muslim women will have to share their husbands in paradise, whether they like it or not. So, can Muslim women have whatever they want in Allah's paradise? Not if they want to be their husband's only wife. Second, Muslim women don't get to take a walk. Well, actually they can, but just not too far. You see, the Quran talks about the women of paradise being confined in tents. Muslim commentators explain this verse in part by referring to Hadith, where Muhammad describes paradise as a pavilion made of a single hollow pearl 60 miles wide, in each corner of which there are wives who will not see those in the other corners, and believers will visit and enjoy them. So they're confined in different places, so they can't see each other, and they also restrain their glances, looking only at their husbands. A good woman in Allah's paradise stays on her side of the giant hollow pearl, and in case she still might see something, she restrains her glances. So if Muslim women think they're going to walk around and explore paradise, taking in the scenery, forget it. The men have business to do, and a virtuous wife does not gaze on her husband when he's doing business with another wife. Now, on to number 3. Yeah, you're wondering if this can get any more absurd, aren't you? If Muslim women are wishing for an end to their inferiority in Allah's paradise, they won't get it. As we saw earlier, Muhammad said that women are deficient compared to men. The same is echoed in the Quran and numerous Muslim sources. What's more is that women who go to paradise are inferior to other women, Allah's perpetual virgins. These virgins are described in great detail in the Quran, and the sick minds of Muslim commentators have added much more detail, from the color of their skin to their eyes to what's inscribed on their breasts. Yes, you heard that right. There you have it. What do women get in Allah's paradise? Anything they want, just like the Quran says, except for a one-woman man. And they can't walk around too much. And they can't look around too much. And if they think they'll finally be equal, they can think again. Let's get back to that first clip.
And don't go further, because if you go further, this is how shaitan would deviate you from the straight path and maybe put you in the danger zone of falling into apostasy, rejecting Islam altogether.
He spoke more than he knew, and that's the point. Asking these kinds of questions can cause women to leave Islam, but not just women. Anyone who looks honestly at the Islamic description of paradise can clearly see that Allah's heaven is man-made. And when the best of Allah's creation turns out to be the product of a man's imagination, well, it's time to leave Islam. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.